The merits of Third Person, a gun nerd, and a podcast that goes completely off the rails, we played Playerunknown's Battlegrounds for this week's Tiny Spacecast. Welcome to another episode of the Tiny Spacecast. This week, we've earned only a single chicken dinner over the span of 70 hours in Playerunknown's Battlegrounds, a multiplayer battle royale developed by Bluehole Incorporated, out now on Steam. I'm your host, Kevin, and joining me in this all-out brawl, we have Miguel.
Hello.
David.
Salutation.
And Johnny.
Oh.
So the Battle Royale genre is not new. It's been on the scene for a while. And Johnny, I think you know a little bit more about it than anyone else.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. It started, I think, out with some Arma 2 mods, similar sort of to DayZ, but in a more compact fashion. You just basically, the principle behind it is you start out with nothing, and you just drop it in a random big map, and you have to go scavenging in buildings and warehouses and all that to find some weapons, health packs, armor, and things like that. And then you find other people and kill them for their stuff. And whoever's left last is the winner. And that's pretty much the premise of the whole genre of the battle arena.
And I think Miguel, you've become pretty familiar with this game. So what does this game take with that genre and mix it up?
So it puts its own spin on it. Basically, it gets 100 people either by themselves, in pairs, or in groups of 3 or 4. It puts them all in a big airplane that flies over this pretty big island and lets them drop wherever they want as long as it's in the path of that airplane. And then lets you just find other people and kill them. There is a safe zone that gets smaller and smaller as the game goes on, and if you are not in that safe zone, you die pretty quickly. So that's pretty much it. It seems simple, but it's a pretty compelling spin on it.
I think we've had a pretty good time with it thus far playing as a team.
Yep, it's been good times.
Yeah, the thing is, I think I personally have about 58 hours into the game. You mentioned, Kevin, you think you have like 70 or so. So obviously, we're really jiving to it. We've put a lot of time into the game. I would argue with basically how when there's 100 people dropped onto this island and you essentially pick up loot like weapons and armor and stuff essentially randomly placed across this entire island, it's pretty chaotic and there's a lot of variables to victory. So I will say, unfortunately, we have only won once, although both you and I, Kevin, actually Johnny as well, I believe, have gotten to second place at least a couple times. And so that has sort of been the extent of our triumphant victories in Battlegrounds. But I think for the most part, we end up in the top 25th percentile at least, right? I mean, it's just about being patient.
Well, yeah, we play a little bit more kind of scaredy cat mode where we will run and hide or not necessarily take a fight unless we kind of are in an advantageous position. There's a lot of...
Hold on, I think I hear one of the enemies squeaking in his chair outside.
I'll have you know, sir, that is tier 1 operator style wolf playing PU Battlegrounds.
He's actually, where you hear the squeak is not where he's going to be, but your attention's going to be over there, and then he'll get up behind you.
Oh my god. It's Chris Kyle.
It is pretty crazy how like just literally kind of avoiding people can allow you to easily make it in the top 50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think what's kind of hooked me on this game and why I've ended up putting those 58 hours in is, well, first off, the population is huge. They've sold something like 1 million copies. So there's, and I think concurrent players on Steam is easily into the tens of thousands at like peak times. So what's really cool is you can drop in with 100 people, you drop off this airplane, and you might have a version of the game where you like hit the ground on your parachute and you're instantly in a fist fight for your life, and you die like right away, or you might have like a literally 25 to 30 minute slow, like stealthy, prone crawl fest across a huge open field. But like in either case, you can drop right into a new game like right away.
Yeah.
It really just depends on your opening strategy of where you want to drop off, especially when you're on the plane and you see the initial, the path that you're going to go on. You just have to decide whether you want to take the risk to go for where all the weapons are, or try to go to a lesser populated town and maybe pick up 1 or 2, maybe not so great weapons, but still you'll you'll live.
And by the way, just to kind of get a little correction, I pulled up some of the numbers here. The peak online players today, a weekday, was 107,000 players.
Whoa.
Jesus.
It's the number 3 most played game on Steam right now.
Its Twitch performance is similarly incredible. It's a very stream happy game.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about, right? You look at H1Z1 and other games of this sort of breed. Johnny, you mentioned there was an Arma 3 Battle Royale mod as well. I'm actually not sure where the genre started.
Sorry, we're hacks and frauds.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like H1Z1 really kicked off the Battle Royale kind of popularity boost.
I mean, the like very structured kind, yeah, but I think DayZ had the more freeform, like, fight for your life. You only get one kind of gameplay.
True.
Way before that.
I mean, it started off actually in Arma 2. It was sort of a branch off of the DayZ mod. Playerunknown was the original developer of, I believe, the original Battle Royale in Arma 2, and then he translated it to this in the Unreal Engine.
Well, I hate to correct you guys because you're absolutely right on that point. I would say one step before Arma 2, we have obviously Minecraft, and then which is obviously sort of like a retread 3D remake of Minesweeper. So you kind of see like a perfect lineage in terms of video game history there.
Yeah, that is true. Like the point where like when you when you sneak around a corner and all of a sudden you and another player just kind of see each other in that moment, and then the little Minesweeper pop-up comes up and you have to defuse the mines before he does. It's a real tense and impressive moment.
It's an interesting choice for the gameplay, but I think it works.
Oh my god! Now you've just described the dopest like mod of PU Battlegrounds ever. So it's the same mechanics. You just roam this giant island with like board games. You loot the board games, and you try to loot like a board game that you're particularly good at. And when you find another person, you have to challenge them to a game.
It's basically the Gwent mod in Witcher 3 that replaces all combat.
Exactly.
But no, it's a very cool game, and the weird thing about the genre with battle royale genres is that they have done their marketing entirely through Twitch. So they'll find like the prominent Twitch streamers and they'll give them free keys, they'll give them swag or perhaps even payment of some form. And they'll basically say, hey, play this and show how fun it is. And it basically spreads like a virus at that point.
It's totally true. And I think that's like, it's easy to get put off by that. I think, honestly, I just kind of ignore that aspect of it. I'm not even commenting that it's particularly negative. I'll just say that, like, it's not a huge draw to the game for me. I think what's satisfying is that, like, this definitely stands on its own legs for me, even when I'm playing, like, just like a random solo by myself.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weirdly compelling. And it's bizarre, too, as a multiplayer game, because I have so much fun playing this game with you guys, right? I think we all really enjoy playing this game together, except sometimes when shit gets salty.
Unlike usual, like where I hate playing with you guys, this one's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, but it's weird because in any other game, if we're playing like even Rainbow Six Siege, if Johnny gets knocked out early, all right, who am I kidding? If I get knocked out early, and Johnny's left alive, I gotta wait maybe 3 minutes or whatever. But in this game, if I get knocked out early, I can sometimes be waiting like a half an hour, 45 minutes if you guys have a really great game following that. I'm super happy that the only time we've ever won the game, we all won it together. Miguel, you weren't there.
Yeah, I know.
But hey, and if you were, we would have won even faster, man.
Because I would have died way early on.
Yeah, you would have been great bait, mate.
You would have looted a bunch of stuff for us and then given it to us.
In the form of your dead corpse. But like, I'm really happy that one time we did win, that no one got knocked out early and got robbed of that first victory, and we all did it together and made it together. Because that would kind of suck, like getting knocked out within the first 5 minutes and then finding out like that's the round that the rest of your team finally managed to take home a win.
It's like those guys in the NFL who get cut from the team like early on, but they get a Super Bowl ring. Like, oh, I did it.
I think that round was we definitely came together in terms of teamwork and communication, which is essential in this 4-man or 4 or 3-man squad that we work in usually.
Oh, are you when you say we all came together in communication? Talking about that moment where David was like, "I see guys, should we shoot?" And we were like, "No," and David's like, "I'm shooting."
I'll have you know that you didn't say no, you just didn't say anything.
We definitely said no.
Well, I'll have you know that it worked out. So clearly he was playing 4D chess. That round was fun. Yeah, there is definitely like the more and more I play, and I've been playing a lot because obviously I've been working on the OCD series and some of the Myths Tested series, which are kind of separate things from Tiny Spaceship, but are kind of related to the site. I've been playing a lot to get a lot of footage for that, and I have noticed that the smart thing to do in most situations is to just not engage unless you have the ability to almost definitively take that person down.
Yeah, and I believe it was a dyslexia video for it was like Armor 3 strategies, or just universal squad tactics in general. But they definitely applied to this game. It kind of reminds me of Arma in general, when you're walking along in a squad and you guys are trying to cover all the different directions. You indicate directions with a compass and degrees and everything like that, and it just feels very kind of tactical to me, which is nice.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm glad that they like baked in a compass rose, and like you don't need to like find a compass to like be able to use it. Like a terrible game, like I don't know, a game that's sort of somehow a combination of battle royale and like zombies. Anyway,
well, what I think is cool about like that tacticality, I think another thing it really does is that's like kind of Arma-like, and I think pleasant and sort of like, well, I'd rather say like successful, is it kind of, I mean, it is the gameplay experience is extremely true to theme. It's like you drop on this island, you feel stranded, you feel like whenever you feel like tense and like everything's out to get you, and by the same token, you can have a stretch of a game that might be 15 to 20 minutes of looting, slowly walking through a field, like clearing a house, and then die instantly out of nowhere from someone you didn't see. And while that's like was frustrating at first, it's actually kind of a unique and interesting experience because I mean it feels sort of, I don't think the game is pushing for incredible realism in the sense this is a real thing that happens, but it is really brutal and nasty, like I think this would actually play out.
Yeah, and I find that as I've played more, that kind of being instantly killed is happening less and less as I'm a little bit more cautious and constantly aware of my surroundings. It'll still happen though. And a lot of times it'll happen because of a thing that I'm sure we'll talk about in depth, which is third person camera.
Oh God, yeah. I'm not sure that's what's great for this game, because it's a little annoying that you can be behind a wall trying to like sort some inventory out, and then some guy can just be in third person and swing his camera over the wall and oh, there you are. Or you can sit around a corner and watch for people around the other corner. And I wish there was an option for a hardcore server like there were in Arma, where it's just first person only.
It's coming.
All right.
The developer has said he intends to release that, and it should be in before launch.
Well, if when that does come out, I think that's pretty much the only mode I'll be playing, because third person is pretty much bullshit for these kind of games.
Yeah, it's really, really bizarre that in a game where having information on another player is so critical and crucial, and also mix that with a TTK that is so low, that they decided third person would be an appropriate match for that, because gaining information on someone is effectively a death sentence for the other person if they don't know that you're there as well.
Yeah, it just encourages people to sit behind trees, rocks, or walls and not move at all, and they can see everything without risking anything themselves.
Yeah, there was a moment earlier. There's a bunch of churches throughout the play area that people have seen, and I was shot at from a building. And basically, I knew the building where it came from, and so I took cover. He didn't kill me. He actually missed all his shots. He was terrible. I took cover, and I took cover in the church, and I was looking at the windows. I noticed that one had been shot out. So, okay, so that's where the guy was. Great. So I had that information on him. And then basically, it was just a stalemate, because I didn't know if he was still there and using his third-person camera to look out that window, and he didn't know that I was doing the same to him. It just feels like it's actually really hard to intelligently and strategically view an area or deal with a situation once it's been kind of activated as like a combat situation. If he had to expose himself to get that information on him, and I had to expose myself to get that information on him as well, that would have made it so much better, and it also would have made it more tense, as opposed to just like, I don't know if he's still there, but he probably is, and he's just looking at me with this like magic invisible camera. I wish I could have like taken cover, found that window of the broken glass, noticed that he's not then looking out it anymore, or perhaps died because I exposed myself to get that information, but notice that he's not there anymore, and then be like, okay, so either he's still in there, or he's moved. But either way, I can move positions now because I know he doesn't have eyes on me, and I can do that safely and securely, and know that wherever I move now will ideally be somewhere he won't necessarily know. Or if I see him, know that I can move intelligently while I might take fire, as opposed to the fact that if I don't see him and it's third person, I can start sprinting to move my position. But if he still has third person camera on me, he can just pop up and instantly take a shot because he knows exactly where I am. It just makes all the tactical encounters feel absolutely kind of brain dead.
Counterpoint, I want to peep my sweet, sweet cosmetics.
Yeah, I was
all
gonna
the
say,
time.
if it was forced in first person, what would be the point of buying those sweet cosmetic boxes? Like, I think it's a fair balance, balancing game balance, trading game balance for cosmetic stuff.
Well, I mean, I hear you, but Call of Duty has a lot of cosmetic.
Yeah, but but like,
Battlefield,
here's the thing. I don't want to blow your mind.
Overwatch has a lot of cosmetics.
Bro,
Overwatch has a ton of
bro.
cosmetic.
Hear me out. I don't want to blow your mind, but kill cam, so you get to see your beautiful body get shot by bullets.
Oh, yeah, see, implement that, and then you can go first person only.
That would actually be pretty sick.
My ideal game would be first person only, and I'm happy that it'll be out eventually in a hardcore mode, but because it's like not going to be the normal mode, I wonder how populated those modes will even be. And also, like, there's an element to the fact that like third person camera makes it easier in some ways, and it's a crutch for a lot of people. So I imagine, like, even though it would be better for the overall health and competitive nature of the game, people probably don't want to get rid of that crutch. People probably won't want to play it as much. Dyslexia actually has a really good video on third person versus first person as well.
I'm a third person. I am a third person homer. I will say that I accept some of its tactical problems, but I don't know if I would play as much if it was like first person only.
Yeah, I feel like there would be some, like, I feel like every time I go into first person when I'm like moving, I get motion sick a little bit just because it's not done that well, maybe. I don't know. And I also think driving would be way harder in first person.
It probably would be. And I kind of feel like it's probably worse in first person right now because the game was designed to be third person first. And I feel like first person was kind of a afterthought. I'm not even sure really why they have it other than ADS, except for, I guess, to appeal to the hardcore crowd. Because I can't think of a situation where it would ever be smarter, unless you're ADSing, obviously, where it would ever be smarter to be in first person.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a niche that's in there for, I don't know, RP.
Yeah. And let's be real, David, you wouldn't play first person because it'd be too spooky.
Yes, I told you I was third person homer. I don't know how much more honest that can be. I mean, if I'm just gonna like die randomly after a 20-minute game, I would kind of like to somewhat see the guy who killed me first.
But first person doesn't eliminate that. It's typically the same FOV.
Honestly, I feel like third person really is the main problem is when you're outside, because otherwise I feel like if you're camping in first person in a building, the camper still has some pretty significant advantage, but the attacker might have some, advantage relative to like client side, hit detection, that sort of thing. But I feel like in a field where you can't, literally circle around yourself, or like a wall where you can't look on the other side of it, that's where it's like most egregious. And so I think it really rears its head when you like get longer into the end of a round, when that random zone you must be in is most likely to be over a big field.
I mean, I kind of disagree, just because like when I'm camping in a building, I can basically look out of my second story windows at no danger to myself and see when someone's approaching my building. Like, I don't know how it gets more advantageous than that. Like, and I mean, to be fair, everyone can do that. So kind of like everyone has the same crutch, but it just makes the whole tactical engagements themselves feel very, I mean, remember when we as a group, we lost Miguel as he charged valiantly into battle with a revolver, and
did it have 3 bullets in the chamber?
Had one.
Yeah, one. He was
That's all
fine.
I need.
Yeah,
you were going to challenge them to a game of Russian roulette, right?
Exactly.
And then you were determined to kill a dude behind a rock, but you were behind your own rock, and you assumed he was behind his rock, and you assumed that you were both just kind of waiting for the other person, watching in third person, with both of you unexposed, for the other person to move. And you just waited, and then the zone came over you, and you waited, and then you started taking damage from the zone, and you waited, and then you charged him. It turns out he had been dead for a long time.
But I don't know how the camera would have changed that, because we both knew where each other was.
Because if you moved in first person, right, and he decided he wanted to see where you were, he would have to expose his head to get a visual on you, and then you could have shot at him.
True, but then I would also be exposed.
It's true. You're absolutely right. But there's a huge difference between you having an idea and moving on his position that he could come out of one side or the other of the rock, and him knowing that you're probably also somewhere over there. In third person, he can line up the shot before he exposes himself, pop out of cover, and immediately shoot you. In first person, he has to acquire you as a target and then aim at you. You're actually at an advantage if you're aiming at the correct side of the rock. You're at a little bit of a disadvantage if you're aiming at the other, but then you're at more of an equal advantage. Moving on someone tactically like that in first person gives you a huge upper hand.
Also, when you're in a squad, it definitely encourages different kinds of tactics. Like, you can't really do suppression in this game with the third person on, because you could just, peek around and be safe. You don't have to expose yourself to get any information. So I would definitely like to have third person, so you can, if there's someone sitting in a window, you can cover that window, spam it with the big bullets, and they don't want to peek their head out.
For real, I actually think the sound of this game is amazing, and the sound design of the shots and also the whip cracks of bullets. If I'm in a building in first person and I can't third person magic my information around me, and I start hearing that window being fucking hailed with bullets, I'm not going to peek up, and that's effective suppressive fire.
It's true. I mean, I think there's some more tactical options that open up with first person camera, but to me personally, I just think it's like it feels designed for third person camera right now, and if even if that shifts the advantage a little bit more towards the defender, I feel like I'm often that defender. So I'm not saying that what your points are wrong. I just feel like it's not quite as egregious to me.
Yeah,
it just feel like it just encourages just sitting around a lot, which I don't find exciting at all. I mean, if everyone's just sitting inside, windows, guard towers, or inside containers, looking around corners, that doesn't seem like exciting gameplay to me.
Yeah, it's nice when it works, and it's nice when it works in your advantage, and it's really frustrating when it works against your advantage, because it doesn't necessarily feel like that guy was better than you. He just got luckier with his third person angling, and in some cases, he not only was he luckier in his third person angling, he was the only one who had the potential to even do it based on the positioning. And I agree with you. Like, it does tip the balance to defending, and so that can be a pro or a negative for you. But what that basically means is whoever gets lucky enough to choose the house that ends up in the final zone is also at a huge advantage. Again, it's not a huge thing, and I think we've won a lot of times where that hasn't even or gotten close to winning, where we weren't necessarily like camping a house that got lucky. And sometimes we'll be camping a house that is in the zone, and we'll still get decimated by an attacker. It's not an absolutely completely unbiased system, and it doesn't completely sway the balance that much, but it is just a bizarre choice in my opinion. And I look forward to hardcore mode, and I hear that there's other battle royale genres coming out this year that actually will be forced first person, which I feel like this game should have been from the beginning, but I mean, that's a whole can of worms, and everyone's going to argue that until their dying breath.
Are you going to allow alt look, in your opinion, in this idea?
Absolutely. Like, yeah, you should be able to look over your shoulder while you're moving in a direction, and that should be networked to other players too, so they can see if they're looking in your direction.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't have that in there. I mean, you can.
So it's not so much about realism as it is about like risk in information.
Outlook
acquisition.
is realism.
You can turn your head while you're running in real life.
You can't really fire a gun while you're looking literally behind you. Like, you can pull the trigger, but like
Outlook doesn't let you fire in the way you're looking. It just is your view.
I understand, but I'm saying like the Outlook in Rust, for instance, is bananas. Like, you can you're using a pickaxe on a rock and you're turning your head almost 180 degrees all the way around.
But in this game in particular, all it does is let you look at there. It doesn't let you shoot in that direction.
I understand, but I'm saying like it's not so much that screams to me of realism as it is about like risk and information.
Wait, can you like only turn your head like 20 degrees in each direction?
In PU Battlegrounds, you can't turn it very far, but in like Rust, for instance, you can turn it ridiculously far.
I think what he means is that in first person, your like head turning abilities would be not as great as they are in third person, because in third person you can just straight up look directly behind you, and if they try to do that in first person, it would not really
totally.
work.
You'd limit it to like 60 degrees in each direction.
Yeah.
Or not 60, like 120 in each direction. Like, I'm turning my head right now. Like, I can turn my head like 110 degrees in each direction.
I mean, like, whatever they had in Arma is pretty much the range of motion you would have, I believe, in first person.
Yeah, and also I would recommend that you take another look at Rust, because you absolutely can't look directly behind you in Rust. And it even angles, it like tilts your camera in a weird disorienting way. Their outlook is actually not super well handled. But it actually limits you more than I think it would allow you. But I mean, that is realism, and it's not only realism, but it's also a balancing, right? If I can see you, you can see me. It's just I don't know. everyone has different preferences. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would absolutely hate this game if it were third person. No matter what argument about competitive nature you'd make, it's just a preference thing.
Yeah, we'll see as time goes on when the option comes out. If there's more hardcore servers or the regular third-person servers, and which one's more occupied all the time.
I think we're gonna see more players playing regular, just because I think, like I said, people like things that kind of make certain situations easier, and I think for a lot of people, third person is that crutch that they can rely on. So I mean, look at Arma. Don't most Arma servers to this day, even Arma, which is like a milsim tac, don't most of them support third person?
A lot of the tactical servers have it turned on to hardcore where it's just locked to first person.
Yeah, but I'm like saying, like, if you looked at all the servers, all the Arma 3 multiplayer servers, I would imagine most of them don't. But I could be wrong. I haven't played Arma in a long time.
It really depends on what you're doing. If you're playing on like a Shack tactical server, it's going to be locked to the first person.
Oh yeah. But I just mean, like, overall, I think if you take away just focusing on people who are interested in like purely tactical things, most gamers just in general, I think, would probably prefer a more casual approach, which the third person allows.
I guess it depends. I mean, because Arma in general is the tactical crowd, but it's just kind of like a, the milsim game-ish.
Yeah. David, you were going to say?
Well, and I don't think people only swarm to quote unquote the easy option, right? Otherwise, HOTS would have 4 million players.
Well, HOTS is a whole can of worms, because like you are so... HOTS isn't really that easy. It's actually, I mean, it is like easier, and its mechanics are a little bit simplified, but like...
No, but it's I don't want to get into like too down the rabbit hole, but it like solves many of the major problems that people had with getting into MOBAs.
Sorry, what's HOTS again?
Here's the Storm.
Oh, okay.
I think if you made HOTS the way it was, but didn't make your level tied to your team and instead made it tied to your individual, I think it would be the most popular MOBA on the market, because it would have that simplified issue. It would be easier, and people wouldn't... Right now, it's too easy to feel like no matter what you do, your effort is meaningless because your team level is too low because everyone else is throwing the game. I think if you encourage individualistic merit a little bit more, it would be the most popular game on the market.
It's possible. My only point was that I feel like we can agree that it's a much more simplified experience, right?
It is, but so is LoL, and LoL's way more popular in Dota 2.
I don't know if LoL's that much less complicated than Dota, frankly. Like it has a couple of mechanics missing, but it's pretty close.
It's a much more simplified one. I mean, it's still a MOBA, so it still has a pretty deep game to it. But I mean, it's the simpler one, and it has more players.
Well, we'll have to see as time goes on what happens. It'll sort itself out.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the game evolves. As it stands right now, it's a very good game that is like a weird mix of like pseudo milsim and kind of, I guess, a little bit arcadey in a sense. Like, I mean, you can drive a doom buggy into a dude.
The guns are definitely arcadey. There's barely any drop.
It's also definitely like a direct reference to that goofball movie, right? Like, which was had some sad parts and all that, but I don't think it was taking it incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Playerunknown's Battlegrounds.
It's coming out 2018, right after the Minecraft movie. Directed by Mac from It's Always Sunny.
Is there really a Minecraft movie?
Directed by Mac from It's Always Sunny.
What is happening to this world?
I mean, there's hypothetically you could tell an interesting story. I mean, look, did anybody think they wanted who could have thought that like Lego Batman would be an interesting concept? Which is not a perfect movie, but like ended up being kind of fun. So it's like, you never know.
I guess that's true.
I mean, they made a Minecraft spin-off video game. Was it the Telltale Minecraft Story Mode or something like that?
Yeah. I think that all sounds terrible.
Speaking of all sounds terrible, let's talk about the pistols in Playerunknown's Battlegrounds.
What?
They rule.
The revolver is
they're hot
great.
garb. I don't know why you even are able to pick them up. It should drop them from your inventory as soon as you get a primary.
I actually managed to, because I've been doing a lot of weird, stupid things for footage. I only had a pistol, and I killed a dude who got a drop on me with an M16 by shooting him 3 times in the head with a P92.
Nice. Solid. Big Boss would be proud.
Did you laugh at him in voice chat? I would.
I may have been a bit more toxic to him in voice chat than I should have been, but I was also really frustrated because I was right about to get some footage that was a pain to get, because I was trying to get footage of one of the rare weapons in a crate, and he tried to interrupt that by killing me, and I turned around and killed him, and I was pretty upset about it.
We are. Oh, that brings me to this week's sponsor, Rare Weapons Crate. They will send you a rare weapon in the mail every month. Next week is Doctor Who, so keep your eyes out.
Oh gosh.
Use the coupon code PUBG for your 10% off.
Use coupon code #KillMe.
Coupon code third person fight me. It is to this game's credit. When it first came out, I was really hesitant, and I thought it was another kind of Twitch streamer cash grab. Because let's be honest, sometimes a game will be not that good, but they'll like put enough money into marketing and pay enough Twitch streamers to like pretend like they're having fun while they play it. That like everyone buys it, plays it for like a month, and it's like abandoned garbage. This game's pretty fleshed out. Like for an early access, like all the pieces are there, right?
Definitely needs a little bit more polish, but yeah, most of it's there.
Like the vehicles, which are like floaty and terrible, I was still surprised at how well they function.
It's true. I mean, I would say actually the jankiness has noticeably gone down in the period that we've been playing it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty incredible for an EA title. Early access, sorry.
The developer definitely seems to really have like a love for the genre and is definitely very active and very vocal and has a vision for the future of the game.
They seem to want to make a video game and not just money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, and in his case, it's both because holy moly, the sales have been through the roof.
Oh yeah, which is totally great. But I think he's doing it the right way.
Yeah, he's not beholden to any publisher or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I was worried, like, when they're like, we just made 1 million sales, I was like, and there goes support for the game. Because it's like, we made our money, see you guys later. But they're still trucking along. I mean, the first big patch really improved performance for me in a lot of ways. It added a vector. What's cooler than that?
A crossbow, which they also added.
Yeah, well, it was actually in the game before and then removed for the rumor was licensing issues. I don't know if that's true, but...
They didn't get the right coupon code from crossbow.co.
Oh, yeah, Crossbow Crate.
Use
a
coupon
really
code
convenient.
Spicy Boy for your 10% off your next purchase.
I will say killing someone in this game is way more satisfying than killing anyone in like any other game.
That's
Yep,
why
or in real
it
life.
hooks you.
Wait, Mikkel, go on.
Hypothetically, of course.
Okay, sure.
No, tell me more. I'm wrapped.
Hypothetically, if you were to kill somebody with a crossbow shot to the face, it probably wouldn't be as fun because you got to clean it up afterwards. But in this game, you don't.
A long time ago, has nothing to do with video games. A very long time ago, Skype used to allow you to call landlines for free. It was part of them like testing it, and so it was a beta, but they let anyone do it for free. I used to prank phone call some places, and I'm amazed I didn't get put on a list because I prank phone called Sports Authority, and I was like, hypothetically, how much damage would a compound bow or a crossbow do if you shot that arrow at somebody accidentally? And the person was like, I don't know. Nothing. I was like, no, but let's say accidentally you shot someone, boom, right in the chest. How much would that bad boy do? And I'm amazed I didn't get put on a list from that.
Did you ever get an answer from the guy?
He said he was very professional about it. He said probably a whole lot. You wouldn't want to do that. It could seriously hurt or kill someone.
Well, yeah.
Dude, so I used to work at a Sports Authority for a summer job, and I would have loved to get that phone call. First off.
You're well, if you want maximum damage, you have to get the blades that pop out of the sides.
I put a lot of thought into this. I'm glad you asked. So anyway.
No, but that was the Sports Authority where two of the guys I know after I left, one tried to one stabbed the other with a screwdriver. So hey, they know all sorts of penetrative injuries in Sports Authority.
If you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, I think we all understand that if you work at Sports Authority long enough, you're gonna stab someone with a screwdriver.
Those
just
black
comes with
polo
the job.
shirts just constrict you and just drive you insane.
But anyway, Battlegrounds. It's a fun game.
So it's a fun game. Let me just say that the thing I like most about Battlegrounds that a lot of these other games kind of get wrong is that they put weapons all over the place, which I think is great because a lot of other games like DayZ, you have to scrounge and search just for a pistol, and then you still got to find the magazine for it. But here you usually get at least a pistol in your first building you enter, which I think is nice.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know how I feel about it. I understand what you're saying, and the loot balance this week has been messed up, and guns have been a little more rare, which I don't know. I actually think I kind of like a little bit more because typically the game works in such a way that the early game is this fucking mad dash for shit that is crazy and hectic and really fun. Where if you're lucky you get a pistol, otherwise you just try and Superman punch somebody to death. And otherwise the mid game is kind of typically like the a bunch of people have been killed and you're just kind of wandering and you're kind of gaining loot in a safer kind of regard. You might encounter one or two dudes, but it's kind of slow. And then the end game is when that circle gets small and shit starts popping off. And before this week, the end game was always like someone had an SKS, someone had an M419, someone had an AWN from an airdrop, someone had an M249 from an airdrop. But like this week, because the loot has been a little bit more rare, it's been a lot harder to find a weapon. I've been finding that like the end game has become a little more interesting. Like, yeah, there'll still be a dude with an AWM, someone may still have an SKS, but there's a lot more dudes making it to the end game with like only a shotgun, or like maybe just like an M419 but only like one clip of ammo, and so he has to be a little bit more cautious. I don't know, I kind of like that because it makes for a little bit more of an intricate and dynamic end game. Even that though, okay, even if we take the loot in its current form, which the developers have said is bugged and they're actually going to revert it, even in its current form, this game still gives you way more weapons than any other game.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't played since the loot balance, so I can't really speak to that. I just like that it's not, 90% of the time just looking for a gun and then getting shot.
Yeah, although it does raise the question of why are there melee weapons in this game?
Yeah, melee is just terrible. I don't know why they would bother.
The networking is awful. Like trying to connect a hit on somebody is really tough, and sometimes it'll work and sometimes it just won't. And it's just like if you try and melee somebody, they're gonna shoot you to death because there's guns with bullets.
Unless you had the pan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, melee does exist to give you that sweet, sweet pan.
So somebody on the PU Battlegrounds subreddit made an interesting suggestion. What if, so the pan, the joke we're talking about is that the frying pan is bulletproof. So when you store the melee weapons on your lower back on your player character, it technically gives you a little area where you can't be shot, basically in your lumbar spine. So they were saying, like, what if the other ones did other things? Like, what if I could fix/flip over a car with a crowbar for some reason, or machete would give me like a charge attack, or a sickle would give me the ability to keep my garden in check.
Would totally be on board with gardening.
I mean, I think it would be cool if they added a katana and let you cut bullets with it, but that's just me.
I'm sorry, Master. Just this once, I need to go all out.
Nothing personnel, kid. So I do think it would be cool if there was they need to add Metal Gear Revengeance style quick time events to this game.
I hate you. Please never speak again. Like
whenever you have a fight with somebody, it needs to be like Fist of the North Star style.
I would love for them to make melee kind of like melee shouldn't necessarily be viable, but it should be possible, I guess. If you only have a melee weapon and you wait on the other side of a door of somebody, if you ambush them with a machete, I would be cool with machete. I would be cool with them
machete.
I'd be cool with them getting that kill, whereas right now you might hit them once and then they're gonna look at you and shoot you to death. It just seems bizarre. Either make it better or just honestly get rid of it altogether and replace all melee spawns with just pistols.
I think you should spawn with a bench leg or something, like the leg of a bar stool.
How about everyone just spawns with a Derringer?
Oh, that'd be cool.
You need something for humiliation kills when you've knocked somebody down.
Oh, the Calibri.
Oh my god.
I hope they add that, and also the heads on a stick that you could use to trick people.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude. Okay. All right. Now I want to wish list a little bit. I talked about my perfect mod where it's you play board games against people. Now I want to be able to take trophies from my fallen enemies. I want PU Battlegrounds Mad Max edition, where I'm I am surveying the wasteland and I have heads on a stick on my backpack.
Just a string of ears. Oh
my god. PU Battlegrounds Vietnam.
That would be amazing.
Oh my god, that's so depressing.
I mean, personally, I would like PU Battlegrounds : Automata, where I have a little flying robot friend that can let me do a bunch of different stuff.
Mass PU Battlegrounds effect :
What do they need to make the game because the game's already really fun and I think we'll still keep playing it for a while, but what does the game need to be a good and complete game? Obviously they need to improve networking, lag, and vehicle netcode.
It should be slightly harder to kill yourself on a motorcycle.
That's coming tomorrow in tomorrow's patch.
Oh, nice.
They're reducing the damage you take when you get ejected from a motorcycle.
From 1,000 to 950.
Yeah, it's you die, but it's a slower, more painful death.
positional damage. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they definitely have that.
No, but I want to see it on my character. I don't want.
I want to like shoot someone's arm off.
Yeah, but I want to like have to loot leg bandages or arm bandages.
I want to have to loot legs and arms.
I want to be able to drink bleach, and quite frankly, I don't think it's a complete game until I can.
Oh my god. Okay, guys, another brainstorm here. Battlegrounds, you are a really crappy combat robot, so you can loot arms and legs, like Miguel said, and become a more badass combat robot.
You're just a really tall robot that's all torso and no arms.
That's amazing.
Just gonna flop around and find your parts.
Exactly.
I think they need to. Because you said you hate pistols, David. I agree that they like almost feel like they have no place. They really need to make it so like if you're taking out a pistol, it's like faster. Because like right now it's almost exactly the same time to take out a pistol or a second. I meant to mention this to you earlier when I was doing my stupid footage recording where I'm like chasing airdrops. I got 2 airdrops back to back that both gave me M249s, and so I had 2 M249s. So like at any moment I like just could never stop firing bullets because like I would fire my one and then like when that one got low, I just take out my other and I would just fire. I have a whole another 100 bullets, and I got real far into that game that way until like I got blown up by a frag grenade. Which holy crap! Why don't they take out that stuff too?
And if they added in, if you ran out of bullets in your second M249, a bald eagle would swoop in and give you a third one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, the fixing the grenade system is probably should be one of their high priorities because there's been a lot of videos of people just killing themselves by throwing a grenade for the because the arc was showing one thing, but then it just goes to a completely different path.
Oh, I know of this because it's happened to me twice.
I like that. It's like a gachapon. Like you don't know what you're gonna get when you throw that grenade.
Yeah. They need to fix the grenades are just it's a terrible night. When I get killed by someone, I'm angry because I'm like, you won the lottery by actually making it do what you wanted it to do.
And the stun grenades are absolutely useless.
You can cook them in your hand until they blow up and they don't stun you. It's interesting.
That owns.
I want to test that with one of you eventually and see if it stuns other people because that might be a legit strategy.
Just kamikaze stun into someone's room.
Yeah. I have kamikaze killed myself with a grenade and taken somebody else out with me. That was fun.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, this game needs feats. I want martyrdom.
God, don't you mean perks?
I want one-man army and scavenger.
I mean, while we're at it, let's just add in Titans also.
God.
Oh, man.
So wait, giant open map manned mobile suit combat. This definitely would not appeal to me at all.
A Gundam?
Wait, a Gundam?
Okay. Anyways, all I will say is every game I play, I just want 2 vectors. Is that so wrong? I got vector lust, baby, and it can't be sated.
They should add a bow and arrow, like a regular bow and arrow, and just
that would own.
It'd be stupid as fuck, but it'd be funny.
I mean, it would keep up with the cliche that every like modern game that takes place in like an open world kind of survival-y type feel has to have a bow and arrow.
I would also appreciate it if it had a flare gun, and a day and night cycle would be kind of cool too.
Oh, and you know what? The ability to like mine underground.
Yeah,
I wish there were like zombies and that like the mode didn't end after so quickly and the zones didn't contract.
Well, I mean, I wish you could like build your own base kind of thing, like set up shop somewhere and just use the resources around you to build a house for yourself.
Well, and I mentioned mining. I think that's great, but what it really needs is crafting. Some sort of mining and crafting, if you would.
Build your own guns.
Oh God! So right now we're describing Rust.
I was describing Minecraft.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was.
Oh, I thought we were Minesweeper again.
Oh. I mean, really, technically all games are just Minesweeper at the end of the day.
I mean, that's true. They're all Minesweeper reskins.
Yeah. It's all Skinner boxes.
You know, they used to call FPS's Doom clones. So, it fell out of fashion to call things Minesweeper clones. So it's just like...
Pistols need a place, and I have no idea what their place is right now other than, like, low-tier, like, initial weapons. But, like, just make it so when I take out a pistol, I take it out, like, half the deploy time.
Proposal to Miguel's point. I want a bow and arrow. I also want, like, a 22 rifle and, like, like Johnny was suggesting, like a Derringer, and I want to remove all of the good guns. So, like, you guys want hardcore mode?
Just have like BB mode.
Yeah, like
paintball guns.
Like you have to stand next to somebody and shoot them like 18 times to kill them.
I mean, I think basically playing a version of this game with really high TTK would be kind of interesting.
Alternatively, I would love it if they added like a bazooka or a grenade launcher, because as it is, the people are grouping up too much. You gotta discourage that.
I am on board with a grenade launcher or a bazooka or a small or an RPG just for that like moment where you'll get like a whole squad wipe on a car.
Yeah.
Oh my god, well now I want like predator vision, and one person in game spawns the predator and they can't win, but they can kill enemy players.
So I think they should add a game mode where your team's driving in a car and they have to like, there's a bunch of different zones around the map and you have to like capture those zones for points. Keep driving around and capturing zones like that.
Whoa. I don't want to blow your mind, but what if the car was the zone?
Whoa.
I know he said he didn't want to blow my mind,
But he did.
but he didn't. Oh,
R.I.P. Hardline.
Yeah.
And I like a little side thing though. I know Battlefront 2 is coming out, but it's not impossible that like the analog of Hardline to Battlefield 4, to Battlefield 1 to some other kind of game is potentially possible. So you never know if we'll get like a off the wall kind of oddball Battlefield soon enough.
I mean, they could just make like pod racing hot wire,
That'd be pretty cool,
I
actually.
mean, would buy,
Yeah.
would play.
like hardcore would play.
I'm currently playing.
I'm sure
it
they could
in-
just add it in as a mode somehow.
That'd be so much fun. I would literally play nothing else, but if you brought me Hotwire in Battlefront 2 as pod racing, and every time you got a kill, someone would say, "That's what I call pod racing."
And then they would say, "Fucking delicious donut spotted,"
Yeah.
and they would say, "Got your ass."
Fuck the police. Okay.
So that's not a song in there.
That's just it. That's just like his real thoughts and feelings.
I mean, I just hated the police in that game.
I mean, I wasn't a
And
fan of the
real.
band that much. I think it's, Sting's overrated.
I just think his story about like how he used to wear a black and yellow sweater in like a jazz club, like, come the fuck on, Sting. You just wanted to be called Sting, my bro. It's okay.
What if they'd started calling him like Bumblebee instead?
They always called him Fuzzbutt McBumblepiss, and he's just like, no, I'm Sting.
No, I'm Sting, guys. Come on, not cool. Call me Sting.
Whatever you say, Buck Bumble.
So why is the M16 and M416 in the game? Discuss.
Well, you see, one's burst fire, and the other one is just full auto.
That's true.
Also, one is a piston gas system, and the other one is a blowback system or something like that. I forget.
I know these words.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gun nerd chat.
It's a gun.
Nerd. It's a gun.
It's a
nerd.
gun nerd.
All these inside jokes. This is great for a podcast.
Yeah, everyone loves that when that's what they hear.
I guess the more I talk about this game, like the more I realize, like, it's a tight and fun game, but like, you drop into an island and you try and kill everyone with the assorted guns you find. Like, that's it.
Yeah, there's so much more than it.
I think simplicity helps it. That's all you need.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It is all about dunking on nerds and just forgetting the shame of getting dunked on by starting your own another match real quick.
Yeah.
But like, it's very satisfying to kill someone after they've been walking around for 20 minutes. But like, not just for griefing, but because you like outplayed them. It's really cool.
This is a weird game too, because like, it's gonna do well now and for a little bit, but once the population goes down, it's going to be a nightmare to find a game.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, with the 100 people required to start a game right now, that might be a little much.
Right now, it's, if 100,000 people playing concurrently, it's not hard, but although that's still only 1,000 games being played at the same time.
I mean, as the game goes on, I'm sure they'll release like other maps that are still a bit smaller, and then you can just sort of have a smaller population on that.
You think so? I don't know if they do that.
No, I want a Dota-esque purity.
Just one map.
I mean, there's a lot to be said about like Rocket League, right? Like saying, I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to do it real well. And that's basically what Battlegrounds is. It's the Battle Royale genre did really well and pretty simply.
I'm sorry, like, even Rocket League has different levels and everything like
Yeah.
that, so...
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine them not releasing another map.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be interesting. I love it as 100 players. It would feel weird if it were less, but I'm sure you can make it work. They are thinking about redesigning how they do the zoning, and they've talked a lot about all their tweaks. Like you mentioned that there's little bullet drop. They do want to add more bullet drop. There's a lot in the game that's kind of unexplained that you just kind of learn to assume over time. That'll probably be more explained or fleshed out as time goes on. Largely, it's just performance, right? They need better networking. They need better performance optimization. Melee needs to not feel so stupid. Vehicles need to not seem like they're constantly Tokyo drifting.
I mean, my CPU fan spins up to like 100% every time I load the game, and I'm just sitting in the menu.
Yeah, it's also bizarre how long the menu takes to load.
Maybe they just take out the 3D stuff and just have a static menu.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Well, but then how would you see your sweet skins?
Yeah, you could just click on the personalization menu and then it'll load up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you see other people's sweet skins?
Oh, that's true.
That's like the only reason I group up with you guys, so you can see my sweet, sweet rimless sunglasses.
I mean, when I unlocked those punk glasses, I was pretty stoked just to show it off in the lobby to you nerds.
He always brings up the punk glasses.
I'm sorry, they're pretty great, and you know they are.
None of you have my sweet parka.
That's true.
Man, all you guys have cool stuff. I just got some different colored shoes.
Well, Miguel, you got to understand, they typically reward winners.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Zing.
But you know, I am glad that they're going purely cosmetic and that no one's like, you can't like, oh, over time I'm better at reloading or anything like that. Like I hope, because I believe that was H1Z1's problem, right? Is like people would get like things that would let them call in airdrops and stuff, and like there are just ways to kind of pay for an advantage. If they avoid that altogether, that would be the best scenario. I would really, really hope that they do that.
Look, I just want to slowly transform into Goku and be able to just Kamehameha people constantly. I want to be able to throw sticks of dynamite as my martial art. Like, what is the problem?
What killed H1Z1? Or I guess it's not really dead. It's
not dead. It's still going.
It's the fourth most popular game on Steam right now.
Are we talking about King of the Kill?
Yeah, King of the Kill. Yeah, H1Z1 is dead, but King of the Kill is still living on.
Yeah, they're just like, what else could we make with this engine that we wasted all this money on?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, the H1Z1 was like a carbon copy of DayZ, which like spawned like, you know, the War Z and all those other like scam games that were basically the same thing. And then like from the ashes of like H1Z1, which itself was like not that great of a game, like formed like, hey, what if we just did like a battle royale game? That would be fun, right? And then like now from that, now there's a whole new thing that's like following suit, which is like the battle royale genre. It's just like a never-ending Markov chain of like what is the current Twitch superstar.
I mean, like for a while, there was the MOBA craze where every developer was just coming out with the new MOBA all the time. So
Yep, you know,
it's just everyone following the fad and trying to make their own and make a quick buck sometimes.
So what do you guys think the next fad will be?
Anime dating sims. Easy.
Sorry, dude, I've been playing Honey Pop for years now. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you're doing it before it was cool. You're like a video game hipster now.
Oh, I'm a hentai game hipster? Okay.
In a few years, you know, you'll get like Honey Pop 5 and streamers will be all over it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be shouting from the tops. I've been telling you guys all along, this is where it's at, and no one's gonna pay me any attention.
Sorry, I think I figured it out. It's gonna be Valve's Ricochet.
Ricochet 2?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm hanging out with my virtual girlfriend on my 3DS right now.
God.
3DS.
They have that in Japan, I think.
Why does my girlfriend have so few pixels? Why?
Beauty at any pixel count?
The new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Slightly more pixels.
Every smartphone ever made called and said, here's some pixels per inch, my boy.
Look, okay, a real man doesn't want to chew on a bone. He wants an XL anime girl, okay?
What the fuck?
This has been a productive cast.
I think this part's getting cut out. Hey, everyone at home, how's it going?
Hey. Oh boy. I don't know if there's really anything else to say. I think we assumed there was more to talk about Battlegrounds, but then I realized like you shoot onto a ground and you try and murder everyone. That's the entire game.
You battle on the ground.
We could talk more about the guns, I guess, or the armor, but like whatever.
They sure are guns.
There's a pistol that shoots bullets. It shoots guns. There's another
shoots guns. That's pretty good.
It's a gun that shoots knives.
There is an SMG that shoots bullets. Another SMG that shoots bullets.
Well, let's talk
third
about
SMG that shoots bullets.
Let's talk
and
about
an old school SMG that shoots bullets. And then there's a gun that shoots arrows.
The joke
and that's pretty unique.
I'm dying. But can we talk about the Heckler & Koch submachine gun in the game that fires 9mm bullets? Obviously, I'm talking about the MP. Oh, fuck, it's the UMP9.
I mean, maybe in this universe, there's like a caliber conversion that they had a whole bunch stored in a warehouse, and they're like, hey, we need to get rid of these, so we'll just dump them on this island and let people kill them with each other.
I thought an ump that fired 9mm did exist.
It does exist, but it's like, why would you buy it?
I like the fact that they made the Vector like actually have a realistically sized clip, because every time I've seen a Vector, it like has like 40 bullets in or magazine, because it has like 40 bullets in its magazine.
I'll have you know, sir, Vectors don't have clips, and furthermore,
I'm gonna fly to where you live and punch you in your dumb face.
Look, I kept that to the end of the cast because you made that mistake a couple times. I do not care. I think it's funny.
They should add a
An
clip
M1
weapon
Garand.
like an M1 Garand. So like,
They have the car.
Ping.
yeah, exactly.
True, they do have the car.
They do have the car. I would love it though. Like if when they're dry, you can hear when they're dry, you can hear the ping. That'd be great because then you're like, oh, he's out, and I can charge him.
Well, sounds like you want to play Call of Duty World War II.
Coming at you.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, sorry.
Can we keep this podcast about one bad game at a time?
Oi, welcome to the bloody first, mate. Oh, it's an American unit. We're far from Texas,
What?
yeah?
What is...
Wait, that guy wasn't English, was he?
I'm Captain Price, as I somehow traveled back in time to this game as well.
Oh my God! Please let it be about American.
Oh my
Captain
god,
Price.
if they could somehow tie in Mason and the numbers into this game, that's it. I'm on board.
Wrong developer.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're making a joke, right? Because Reznov was in World at War.
I don't know.
Well, Black
Reznov
Ops.
is a time traveling guy, time traveling Russian dude.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I like bring that back. I like that goofiness. Just
kind of a name is soap?
I just want Jon Snow to be mad about space. Okay.
I want Jon Snow to be mad about Kevin Spacey and have them fight it
The
out.
ultimate crossover, Advanced Infinite Warfare.
wait, is Jon Snow doing the voice in the new one?
He's in Advanced Warfare.
No, he's in Advanced
No, he's in
Warfare.
Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare,
Infinite
sorry.
Warfare.
He wants to return space to the space noids.
Wait, Jon Snow is in Infinite Warfare?
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
No, Kevin
Except
Spacey
way
was the
worse.
bad guy.
No, that's
No,
Advanced
that's
Warfare.
Advanced Warfare.
Oh my god, I cannot keep up anymore.
I for one, as a sci-fi fan, I am not tired of like future war for our games. I just wish anyone else but COD did it.
Yeah.
This is my weekly plug for Battlefield 2143. DICE, please.
Why haven't they done it? Now, to be fair, Battlefront
Battlefront 2.
might
Yeah,
like
Battlefront is kind of scratching that itch, I think.
oh my god, I know we're going all over the place now, but I hope they do not make the bad guy switch sides after like an emotionally she better stay evil, or at least like not just completely turn.
Star Wars never has like very bad characters turn right at the end of their arcs. They would never do that. There's people who are so evil that they can never be redeemed.
The description for it was that that elite commando lady, you followed her over the course of 30 years.
Redemption.
Yeah, the course of redemption. So I don't. But
She did also say she's been waiting 30 years for this.
Interesting.
Guys, look,
Kept you waiting, huh?
I get it. If you're an Imperial soldier, maybe you were just, whatever, you joined for the college money. But like once they blow up Alderaan, I don't know how you really defend it, frankly.
I mean, but like then if your big station is killed, that could like rally you enough that you don't care anymore.
No. I mean, I'm saying I believe there are plenty of people who would still be in favor of the Empire, even when they they're like screw Alderaan.
look, the GI Bill for being a stormtrooper is pretty generous.
They'll send you to Hollow College in 15 minutes.
They'll even pay for all your therapy following you hitting doors with your helmet.
Oh my God,
Deep cut. Okay, moving on.
traitor.
This is
Dying.
there's nothing else to talk about. Let's wrap this up. Let's see. God, this is a game. It's a video game, right?
Guys,
This is a video
Breath
game.
of the Wild is really good. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, please stop. I hate
Well,
this.
look, okay, speaking of future combat, like 9,940 years into the future, Nier Automata takes place, and that's a pretty good game.
I'm glad that Miguel found a game he likes enough to bring up all the time.
Yes.
Mass Effect 2, Battlefield 2142.
Nier Automata, yeah.
Did you guys know that The Witness, a popular puzzle game, doesn't really make any claims about time, so it could be in the future too. All right, guys.
Oh, Jonathan Blowhard's the shitness. Sorry.
Jonathan Blowjob.
It's a way better name.
I mean, we all...
Oh God! All right, love you guys. Goodbye, world.
No, it's okay.
It's not over yet.
But yeah,
come
we're
back
not.
here.
We gotta fucking do the outro. What the fuck is this podcast?
Oh, wait, happy
What the
birthday to
fuck has
Kevin.
this
Today's
podcast
birthday.
become?
I thought we were kind of done. Do the outro.
No.
All right.
No, what has happened?
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is available early access on Steam from Bluehole. From Bluehole.
From
and PlayerUnknown.
some Bluehole.
Bluehole Incorporated, you fucking Bluehole yourself.
I mean, just blew
God.
Right in the blue hole.
Okay, no. Unironically, last comment that is totally apropos. It costs $30, which is totally fair. I think that's a great price.
$30 is pretty good for it. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. You're gonna get a lot of time. If you enjoy it, you're probably gonna get a lot of time out of it.
As they add more content, I'm sure it'll be more worth that price. I don't know if there's plans to increase that in the future or not.
Would this game be better procedural? I think it would.
I wouldn't be against it.
I'm kind of bummed out that there's already like a meta of like people know like, oh, this is the best, and there's like maps out there where it's like, here are the high loot zones. It's like, it should just kind of be like, okay, I'm thrown over this island, like where do I go? Like you're given a map and you're like, okay, this seems like a big city, maybe there'll be a lot of stuff there. Like I think that would be cool, like cooler than like people kind of just figuring out like what the best kind of plays are. The whole zone idea kind of helps make that not necessarily always play out the same way, right? Because it forces the end game to be in like one of a million different places, which is cool. But I would love to see this game procedural, but I think that's way out of the cards for this one.
I don't think the team behind it might have the experience for that yet. But I mean, so they can certainly give it a shot. It's still early access, so they can play around with it.
Yeah. All right. On that note, since it's like a semi-high note, or at least it's not just us like scraping the bottom of the barrel for dumb shit to say, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, it is out now on Steam. It's $30. It's an early access, but they got about a 6-month roadmap, and they seem like they're committed and they're hitting all their check marks. So it should be a really cool game to check out if you like Battle Royale, if you like killing people, or if you like running aimlessly for 20 minutes only to then be headshotted from someone you never even saw. It's definitely worth checking out. Try and earn that winner chicken dinner. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thanks.
I'm going to eat every chicken in this place.
And thanks for listening.
Room tone. In a world where tiny spaceship. Tiny spaceship! Oh, tiny spaceship. This just in. Tiny spaceship. Tiny spaceship. Another thrilling adventure with tiny spaceship. Most of those are jokes. Enjoy.